Time for things to calm down, mellow out a little bit. Sure, mellow like the White House the day after India set off the nuclear bomb. Yanks ready to go nuclear as they ventured into Boston to face their arch rivals, the Red Sox. New York up by 5 games on Boston in the East. Extra security out. Top 4, 2 on for Bernie Williams facing Tim Wakefield. And this ball is way out. And check out the guy driving the parked car, the valet. That's my souvenir. Forget the car.
Forget the tip.
He's got his tip right there. 3-0 New York, Bernie with 5 homers. Red Sox come back. Bottom 7. Yanks up only 4-3. Darren Bragg, bases loaded, facing Mike Stanton.
The Yankees want to run away with the American League East, but the Boston Red Sox aren't letting them just yet. Adding spice to one of baseball's best rivalries, the fact these two teams are 1-2 in the AL East, separated by 4 games after Friday's victory by the Sox. Ask Tim Wakefield about this series. He'll tell you, who are the Yanks? We're the Red Sox. It's not the World Series. No, it's not the Fall Classic, Tim, but it is a series that has taken on a life of its own over the years.
Oh, it was very intense. There wasn't a lot of fraternizing going on before games, which is the way it should be. And, you know, we just love playing against each other.
Every series, couldn't wait to get back to watch the TV. If my father had tickets for the Yankees games, it was like, that was it. It was the dream. I can't wait. I can't believe I'm going in.
There were times when we first started out with that rivalry when it was ugly.
What the heck has happened down in the left field corner? Jim Rice is up in the stands. Some clown took his hat, and Rice went right up after him.
And let's see, he holds on to it. Does he hold on to it? And here they go, fight. Here they go, and miss. And the bench is empty.
It seemed like Fisk had a fight with everybody on the Yankees back then, and he just didn't like New York, and I know a lot of New Yorkers didn't like him, and a lot of the players didn't like him.
Bill Lee is now going over to a couple of the Yankees, and there they go again.
Bill Lee, Mickey Rivers, Greg Nettles, that was a good one. I was a rookie at the time, and I thought, this is wild. I thought I was back in Brooklyn and having a gang fight or something like that.
There were things being thrown at players on the field.
And there was oranges, apples, batteries, M80s. Everything was flying over to Mickey Rivers. He had to wear a helmet to play center field.
What I really remember about '78 is when they came to us. We were kind of collapsing that year, and they came in for a 4-game series here in Fenway, and we lost all 4. It was like the Boston Massacre.
1978, the playoff game.
Deep to left. Yastrzemski will not get it. It's a home run. A 3-run home run for Bucky Denton. The Yankees now lead it by a score of 3-2.
After he hit that home run, just that deafening silence in the stands, which told it all right there. And as for a Yankee player or Yankee fan, doesn't get any better than that.
I don't think it's the same as far as intensity.
It's an old-time rivalry. And I think, like I said, it was more so in the past time, but I think it's being regenerated, especially now that the Red Sox have decided to go out and compete money-wise to get the players and bring the players in here.
I think it all depends on where the teams are in the standings. If the Red Sox are last and the Yankees are first, it's not a rivalry. If the Red Sox are first and the Yankees last, it's not a rivalry. They've got to be close together, and they've got to be fighting for the top for it to really mean anything.
And they have to feel it. You have to feel it for yourself, I think. You can talk about it. They might be a little curious about what it was like, but until you get out there and really feel it, go through the agony, and the glory and the excitement of winning. It's something you build within yourself.
You have to hate them. If you wear this uniform, you have to hate the Yankees. That's just the way it is. So I guess now, wearing the uniform, I hate the Yankees.
Peter Gammons joins us again live from Fenway Park. Peter, we're looking back at ancient history there, sort of, because the Red Sox haven't been good enough to really contend with the Yankees. That's what makes a true rivalry, though, when they can beat each other, and the Yankees have had the best of it in recent times.
Yeah, they have in this decade. In the 80s, it was really in the late 80s, the Red Sox, when they finished first 3 times in 5 years, the Yankees really weren't contenders. They haven't really played a significant game since the playoff game in '78. That's why, even though last night the feeling in this ballpark was electric, it was a special night, but it was for a couple of reasons. It was a rivalry of really of tradition and history rather than a recent animosity. It was also, though, the electricity was created by 2 teams that play with a great deal of intensity, yet because they don't have any real hubris and they play with such modesty that there really isn't a lot of flair and hatred. But it was interesting there isn't any fraternizing between these two teams either. I think there's a lot of respect there, but they need to play in October in a playoff game and have one eliminate the other for this rivalry to really go back to the way it was in the 70s.
Peter, now to the present time. Did Boston make a mistake? Why didn't they pitch Pedro Martinez in this series? And also, are you surprised with the success Tom Gordon has had this year?
Well, I think it would have been a tremendous mistake to gerrymander the rotation to pitch Martinez. It doesn't matter whether you finish first or second. The important thing is getting into the playoffs. And they have to find out about Brett Saberhagen. Can he pitch on the 5th day a certain number of times? They're trying to end up in the playoffs. To worry about the Yankees right now, they're probably not going to, well, they're not going to beat the Yankees anyway. They're not going to finish first. They can beat them in October with Martinez and with Saberhagen and with Wakefield. That's the important thing. And the other element is Tom Gordon. This franchise turned around the day they traded Heathcliff Slocum for Varitek, who's becoming a tremendous catcher, and Derek Lowe. Put Tom Gordon in the closer spot. He's the best relief pitcher in baseball right now. He hit 99 on the gun last night, getting Bernie Williams out with 2 outs to the 8th. He's really become a dominant figure for this team and gives them a chance if they can make the playoffs.
Peter, so much of the headlines lately has been the fire sale in Florida, but a series like this, Red Sox, Yankees, the two teams really going at it, just separated by a few games in the standings, that can really bring back the enthusiasm of a lot of baseball fans.
I think it really can, Larry. I mean, because it's not only the enthusiasm, it's the way they play. As I said, you know, they're both very intense. You can't get...
But first, who's hot? Seattle's Alex Rodriguez and Toronto's Jose Canseco crushing concussive cannon shots in salvos.
Goodbye, baseball! Well hit ball deep into center field off the bat of A-Rod. Goodbye, baseball! This baby's gone. And a shot deep to left, way back, and this baby's gone.
Who else is hot? Travis Fryman, 10 RBI in his last 5 games. He's hammered along at a .524 clip. Juan Gonzalez leads the American League with 59 RBI. Ken Griffey is second with 40. Not hot? Charles Johnson isn't hitting for the Dodgers, but LA's pitching staff is sizzling with him behind the plate. Cal Ripken at least had a hit in 4 trips yesterday as the Orioles snapped a 9-game losing streak. Chris?
Tuesday night, the best team money could buy, Baltimore, met the best team in baseball, New York. The Orioles arrived on a downward spiral. They had fallen 11 games back and were in last place. Not since July of 1996, when they were 12 games behind the eventual champs, had the O's been so far behind in the dust. However, Bob Stevens reports in the Game of the Week that Baltimore had yet to show how low it could go.
What a way to start the week. David Wells throwing a perfect game. But 2 days later, the perfect week had turned very imperfect. Against Baltimore Tuesday, down 5-1 heading into the 7th, the Yankees cut the deficit in half. Still down 2, the perfect comeback was just beginning. 2 men on for Bernie Williams.
Long drive to right field, and the Yankees have taken the lead.
I just kept thinking, you just got to stay back and see the ball, stay back and see the ball, and most important of all, keep fighting, because there was going to be a chance that I was going to get a chance to win the game.
We were exhilarated. You know, Bernie hits the home run, but we didn't really get a chance to enjoy it that long.
The Orioles, losers of 5 in a row, needed this game badly. But after blowing a 4-run lead, the frustration was evident as Tino Martinez came to the plate. Let's flash back, June 7th, 1995. Armando Benitez facing the Mariners. After giving up a grand slam to Edgar Martinez, Benitez nailed Tino Martinez in the back. Benches cleared, but no punches were thrown.
I think he had just gotten called up that year, and he was kind of wild. And first time I faced him, first time I faced him, he hit me, and I didn't think much of it, but, it's kind of ironic I got hit again.
Ironic or not, Martinez followed Williams in the 8th, and the frustration was too much for Benitez and the Orioles.
Oh, that's going to call. Yeah, he's gone. Benches are going to empty. That was a frustration pitch on Benitez's point. No need for it. Darren Strawberry's after him now. That was a real cheap shot.
It was an absolute classless act to start off with, and I think we did what we had to do.
We went out and defended our space, and if it wasn't for the initial rock throwing incident, there wouldn't have been need for us to defend our space.
Basically, there would have been no fight, breakout, most likely, had the bullpen, had the Yankees bullpen not come in.
And Benitez, because of all the frustration. Great watch. They're after him. This is getting ugly now.
I mean, the guy throws 97 miles an hour, and if Tino didn't duck, it hit him in the head. And that's pretty dangerous.
When you have a fastball like he has, and you have a hard ball in your hand, it's a lethal weapon. And he could have hurt my players seriously.
And both teams faced serious repercussions. AL President Gene Budick suspended Benitez for 8 games, and Alan Mills got 2 for attacking Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry was suspended 3 games for cold-cocking Benitez, while Graham Lloyd and Jeff Nelson each were handed 2 games for charging out of the bullpen and attacking Benitez.
I think 8 games is a little stiff. And Armando said he didn't hit the guy on purpose. Obviously, the league feels like he did.
I mean, you know, you do the crime, you do the time.
Is it time for baseball to institute rule changes that would curb further brawls? Both the NHL and NBA have rules prohibiting players from leaving the bench during fights. Some changes have been suggested, including having the pitcher bat in the American League. But even if the pitcher did hit, the numbers would still be a problem.
In baseball, if a batter decides for some reason that he has been wronged in this matter and wishes to challenge the pitcher for what he believes to be misconduct, if he goes out to the mound by himself, no rule is going to stop his teammates. And you wouldn't want a rule to stop his teammates from protecting him when he goes out there and is outnumbered 8-1.
We can do suspend all 50 guys on the team. If they go run, one guy runs out, everybody's going to run out there.
I guess maybe the best way to get rid of it is to do away with the DH so that he has to come up to the plate.
I fished in the National League for a long time, and I was considered one of the guys that would throw at people over there when it was necessary and important, and I had to bat. I was a starter over there for 2 years. I got hit myself. That's part of the game.
Now, baseball's a great game when it's played between the lines. Unfortunately, when it spills over, it gets ugly.
And that it was. Thanks, Bob. Well, the sports reporters in New York would like to butt in at this moment and share their comments on the Orioles-Yankees fisticuffs. Dick Schaff opens the mic for Bill Conlon, Mike Lupica, and Bob Ryan.
These people who sit on the panel of the sports reporters cannot read minds, but all of them seem convinced that the other day Baltimore's Armando Benitez hit Tino Martinez of the Yankees in the back with a pitch and with malice aforethought. A deliberate assault that triggered a small brawl. Did the scuffle at Yankee Stadium hurt baseball's image, Bill Conlon?
You know, it's amazing. 50 large millionaire athletes brawled for almost 15 minutes the other night, and not the only black eye that came out of it was for the game itself. I don't buy that. Brawling is as old as the game. In fact, the American League just hired Bob Gibson, one of the most intimidating pitchers in history, to be an assistant to the American League president.
But nobody in their right mind brawled with Gibson. Mike Lupica.
This has been such a fabulous spring for baseball. Is there some sort of alarm that goes off and somebody says, gee, nobody's acted like a major punk lately? Okay, I'll do it. You know it's embarrassing in sports when a baseball game starts to look like a Knicks-Heat basketball playoff game.
Bob Ryan.
Well, speaking of the Knicks and the Heat, how about that girly man fighting style of Armando Benitez right out of the Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning fight book? If you are going to brawl, boys, do it in a manly fashion and stop embarrassing yourself in the eyes of the other professional athletes.
All I can say is I'm not sure anything could hurt baseball's image these days. It's not exactly shining, but of course the sports reporters are. They'll be back for a full half hour starting at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time.